With the bat, the 24-year-old leads the Rockies in homers and ribbies. He sprays line drives from line to line and can startle you with prodigious long balls. With the glove, well, his defense has already reached the legendary status in some quarters. The extraordinary play has become so commonplace and so frequent, it is now simply Nolan being Nolan. Rockies, Reds, next. Well, it wouldn't be a Rockies game lately if we didn't have the obligatory shot of the tarp being placed out on the field, rolled up. Grounds crew's been busy lately, but the shower that went through and brought heavy rain late this afternoon appears to be a thing of the past, and we're ready for baseball at Great American Ballpark on the banks of the Ohio River with George Frazier and Jenny Cavnar. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies playing the middle game of this three-game set against the Reds. Charlie Blackmon will lead things off for the Rockies. He got the rally going in the top of the ninth yesterday, walking against Aroldis Chapman, and he eventually scored on a Nolan Arenado sac fly as the Rockies beat the Redlegs 5-4. Here's the Southwest batting order this evening for Walt Weiss. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. DJ hitting so well, he'll bat second once again. Cargo and Tulo back in there. Cargo feeling much better. Nolan Arenado will slide to the fifth spot. He's red hot. Ben Paulson, Nick Hundley. Brandon Barnes will play left field. He'll bat eighth in front of Chris Russin, the former Chicago Cub. And a young right-hander's on the hill for the Reds, Michael Lorenzen, hard thrower out of Cal State Fullerton.
He was a closer at Cal State Fullerton, but he was also an outfielder. When the Reds took him, there was some indecision on where he would go, with the bat or on the mound. Watched him pitch a couple of years ago when he made his minor league debut with Pensacola. Very hard thrower. He'll run the ball up into the mid-90s at times. And this is somebody they look at, Drew, and you talk to them, is this the next Homer Bailey for them? Because it is a big arm. And he has to still refining some things, but he has flown through their minor league system, and here he is at the big leagues.
23-year-old misses there. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he is proud of his fastball, and well, he should be. He's throwing it, George, better than 70% of the time. That's a real high rate in this day and age. 94
miles an hour with the last offering with some sink. Knows what he's doing as far as being on the mound. He had 35 saves while at Cal State Fullerton.
2 balls and a strike. And that's outside 3-1.
Charlie last night a career high 3 stolen bases in the game. He has 10 on the year now. He's been caught twice.
And ball 4. So a very nice beginning. Charlie Blackmon, he's been working a lot of walks lately. And he'll lead off and jog down to first in front of DJ LeMahieu. This is a tweet sent out by the Reds a short while ago. Rockies just wanted to make you feel comfortable. Well, it's unlike Colorado weather to have the kind of precipitation we had, but hopefully sunny skies when we get back home. I know it was a pretty nice day for the most part today. Charlie yesterday stole 3 bases. Pena is again behind the plate, and that's a strike on LeMahieu at 94. Charlie leading the club with 10 stolen bases. DJ with a .333 average. He's second on the club in RBIs with 23.
Well, one thing you have to do as a base stealer, when you haven't faced a certain pitcher, not only worried about what he does at the plate, but what kind of move does he have. This is a very good athlete on the mound. Does he have very quick feet? quick start there. He came set, bounced, and took off. And yesterday, Charlie, every time I come to Cincinnati, I think of Joe Morgan. 1 foot outside the cut. Pretty much going to get a big lead and be able to steal a base. Charlie did it twice early in this game with a very big lead. Outran the throw, outran everything for the pitcher. And then they just didn't even pay attention to him. And he was able to steal third base and come around to do some damage with that. DJ LeMahieu with the strikeout for the first out here, with Charlie still at first.
So DJ goes down swinging on 3 pitches, and that'll bring up Cargo. Cargo had a stomach flu yesterday, was a late scratch from the lineup. Talked to him earlier this afternoon. He had that great smile of his going. He said, I feel a whole lot better. Eat Pedialytes all day, and that'll get you feeling better.
It will at that. You revert back to how you take care of your children, and you say, I need to take care of myself. Put a lot of fluids in, get things calmed down.
And that's fouled off. I always say this, George, when you're facing a guy that you haven't seen, and perhaps haven't even seen at the minor league level or in spring training, you can watch video all you want, but it's a fact-finding mission for these hitters first time through.
Second and third times when you have a chance to do the damage. The first time you're looking at the movement of the fastball, the release point, where is it? Pick the ball up coming out of the glove. He does a very nice job of keeping his arm on his body line so you don't pick the ball up till it's up at the top of the zone.
Cargo, a couple quality hacks on fastballs at 95 and 96. And part of that fact finding is, what does his secondary pitches look like?
Out of college, he just overpowered people. The same thing basically in Double-A, through 94 to 97 miles an hour. Occasional change up. They start working the cutter a little bit with him to improve that, along with the curveball.
You're right. He moved fast. He made only 49 appearances in the minor leagues. 2-2.
For a guy that was a center fielder and refining his delivery, the key to that was repeating it, and that's what he did, and that's one of the reasons he moved quickly. First round draft pick.
Back up the middle, and it's going to turn into a double play. Well, Cargo's been swinging it better, and he didn't catch a break there. It hit the mound, and it slowed it up and made for an easy double play for Zach Cozart.
On the banks, look at him. Got a fishing rod leaning against the post, sitting on a bucket. I guarantee you got a nice little bologna sandwich working, Drew. Going to have dinner by the river.
I hope so. Always good to have the backup if you don't catch anything, have the bologna sandwich. Zach Cozart's going to lead things off tonight for Brian Price. The Reds have lost 9 consecutive ball games. They've averaged less than 3 runs a game during the losing streak. Joey Votto will bat second. Todd Frazier, Jay Bruce, Brian Payne in the middle of the lineup. Marlon Bird's homered in the last 2 ball games. Chris Negron getting the start at second base. Brandon Phillips, who was 0 for 5 yesterday, getting the evening off. And again, they're going to bat the pitcher in the 8th spot. Michael Lorenzen will hit 8th. And again, he's a guy that handles the bat really well. And Billy Hamilton will bat 9th. First pitch from Chris Russin is in there for a strike on Zach Cozart.
Well, Drew mentioned him hitting 8th. That's the second night in a row since September the 7th, 1933 that they pulled that off.
That was caught in the air, and just in case, Arenado will finish the play. 1 out. Always smart to test Arenado to see how he's going to be defensively.
Is that what it was? I thought maybe
game.
it was Texan. You know, check Paulson out, see if he could pick it in the dirt.
Barnsley's in left, Blackman in center, and Cargo is in right. Arenado, Tulowitzki, LeMahieu, Ben Paulson in the infield with Nick Hundley doing the catching. Rockies have won 3 straight, best stretch in a month. And now Joey Votto, who's hitting lefties really well. 333 against lefties. I double checked that. That was the number yesterday, but he's hitting better against lefties actually than he is against righties so far this year. That's down low. He's at 313 now against lefties, 274 against righties. And the 2-0 misses. It's 3-0. Rockies put a shift on. In the outfield, they play it straight up. Slight shade toward left center. He hit the ball 4 times in the air to left yesterday. And that's about where Russin will top out. Joey didn't like that call by home plate umpire Todd Tishner. It's 3-1. 89, maybe touch 90.
Try to simplify the delivery. It's just a quick little step almost to the stretch position. And then fires and tries to stay to the lower half of the zone, sink the baseball, cut it a little bit, get some ground ball outs. A leadoff, 1 out walk to Votto.
Well, that'll bring up Todd Frazier. Frazier has seen Russin 3 times, 1 for 3. The 1 was a home run. Again, there's some familiarity because Russin pitched for the Cubs parts of the last 3 years before he was waived very late in the 2014 season and claimed by the Rockies.
4-9 in his major league career, covering 96 innings. 469 earned run average. Worked better as a starter versus reliever. Only 12 2/3 out of the bullpen. That didn't go so well. 7.11 ERA.
And 20 of his 24 big league appearances as a starter, and it was just last year that they tried to work him out of the bullpen.
Well, they're in dire need of trying to find some left-handed relief in Chicago, and they threw him out there thinking it might work for him before they put him on waivers. And at the end of September, it's a little bit unusual. Most clubs will wait a little while longer than that after this season, try to sneak him through.
1-1 on Frazier with 1 out. Joey Votto is at first base. 72 degrees our game time temperature. And kind of a tardy swing, almost like Frazier was sitting on something off speed.
He didn't get a very good read out of the hand, that's for sure. Good for Chris because he was able to get the ball by him for strike 2.
Popped up and is going to drift into the seats out of play. Frazier homered in the ball game yesterday. The Rockies took an early 1-0 lead. Frazier hit a 2-run home run to give Cincinnati a 2-1 advantage.
First home run he had hit since May 13th after hitting a ton that first month of the season. He hit the home run on May 13th and last night a 2-run home run. Frazier on the season 26 RBIs with 13 home runs.
One, two. Here's the leaders in home run per at bat. Bryce Harper, not surprisingly, he's gone off the last couple of weeks, hitting a home run every 9.4 at bats. Jock Peterson of the Dodgers, and then there's Todd Frazier. But Ryan Braun's heated up lately, huh?
Healthy again, 100%.
Strike 3 on the inside corner. Went after him, George, with all fastballs, it looked like.
In a very good location, particularly the last fastball at 89 miles an hour. And Chris trying to pound that inside part of the plate, went underneath the hands. Very well received by Nick Hundley for the strikeout. Frazier, I don't think necessarily liked this being called a strike, but also he got a little bit fooled. He stayed in the box for a second. You can see on the forward strike zone, caught plenty of the box to be called a strike.
Yeah, when guys start moving dirt, they're just hoping they don't hear the umpire bark strike 3. Jay Bruce, he takes strike 1. Fastball at 90. Jay Bruce 0 for 5 in his career matchups with Chris Russin. The average isn't pretty for Bruce, but he's starting to swing it well. 5 multi-hit games in the last 8. And that is a fair ball. Cargo's got a long way to go. Votto heading to third, and he's going to get a green light. And the throw to the plate. Nope, you know what? He's hung up. For a moment, he got back. Jim Riggleman was waving him and then gave him a late stop sign. I'll tell you what, had he set him, DJ LeMahieu, with any kind of accuracy on the throw, was going to get him.
Well, I think in Riggleman's mind, what he was thinking about trying to do, I'm going to pull him on that bag as far as I can, knowing that I'm probably not going to send him. But if the exchange is bad, but with DJ catching this ball from Carlos Gonzalez, then I'll go ahead and completely send him. And that's where you try to coach third base. He's got him wrapped up, saying you got to go, and he gets down the line. The exchange was good. This is something you work on. Come aggressive into third base, and if I've got to hold you, I'll hold you.
2 outs, 2 in scoring position. The switch hitting catcher Pena. And the cutter's inside, ball 1.
And I understand Riggleman's thought process for the fact this ball club has not scored runs of late.
Soft liner grab by Paulson, and that will end the inning. So nice job by Chris Russin to get out of it. 2 left in scoring position, and we'll go to the second. No score at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati on a Tuesday night. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. By the Colorado Lottery, expect the unexpected. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. Rockies getting ready to go in the second inning. Troy Tulowitzki will lead things off. Then Arenado and Paulson against the young right-hander out of Anaheim, California, Michael Lorenzen. Troy pinch hit, struck out against Aroldis Chapman in the ninth yesterday, and he takes inside ball one. First time this year that both Cargo and Tulo were out of the starting lineup the same day. And it worked out okay yesterday with the Rockies winning 5-4 with that run at the top of the ninth inning. Still marvel at how Charlie Blackmon did, working out that walk. Got a guy throwing 103 from the left side, and it was a weird deal for Chapman because he walked Charlie, but it's almost, George, like he was warming up on the mound. He was throwing 95, 96 to Charlie. DJ drops the base hit into right field, and he gets hacked off, and then you see 101, 102, 101.
It's one of sometimes is the heart really in it. You know, when you can throw 101, you need to do it all the time, not 95.
This is up the middle and past the diving Zach Cozart. So for the second straight inning, the Rockies have the leadoff man on. So a base hit for Troy, and that'll bring up Arenado. Well, yesterday was highlight after highlight, offensively and defensively, for Nolan Arenado. This was the ball he hit out. Back-to-back ball games with a home run. His ninth of the year, and then that unbelievable catch. We thought Barnes was going to make the best catch of the day diving into the stand, and Arenado did him a little better.
He did do that. I mean, just watching him every day, it's just a highlight reel. That's a lot of parts of it. Tried to ambush the fastball early, gets under it a little bit.
Cozart.
Yeah, he got room.
Yeah, he's going to make the catch. That'll bring up Ben Paulson.
Drew mentioned that you haven't seen Lorenzen at any point. A lot of these Rockies having it to minor leagues. The Cincinnati Reds minor league system not anywhere near Colorado. You know, all the leagues are so much different, and they're the AA team in Pensacola, Florida, the AAA team in Louisville, Kentucky. So you don't see them cross over or get to play against each other unless it happened to be in Arizona Fall League, maybe in spring training a couple of times, but the consistent look is not there.
Yeah, and the Rockies played the Reds only twice during spring training, so I mean everything would have to align. This kid worked a couple innings when the Rockies regulars were in there. It would have to be the first part of the game.
That's where you really rely on your scouts that are working and writing a lot of reports on these guys throughout the course of the year as they see these clubs.
One in the zone, one out of the zone, one ball and one strike on Ben Paulson. Two and one. Ben 0 for 4 yesterday. He was pinch hit for in the ninth inning against Chapman. That's when Tulo took the AB. Rockies had 11 hits in the victory yesterday. And that's inside. This is just the third time Lorenzen has pitched at Great American Ballpark. He's worked 7 innings in his home yard, and he's given up 3 home runs, and the opposition's hit .355 against him. Tulowitzki at first, 1 out, and that's ball 4. So now the Rockies have 2 on, and Nick Hundley will take his turn. Rockies fans, you can join the conversation. We remind you every night, just send us your thoughts and photos. Utilize Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Just make sure you use the hashtag Toyota Talk. So Nick Hundley, who's had a great year so far, been a clutch hitter, good at bat after good at bat, will step up with 2 on and 1 out. No score. We're in the top of the second.
Most walks in a single start for this young right-hander has been 4. That was in a ball game against the White Sox. He walked 4 in 5 innings through 91 pitches. He's set at 24 now with 1 out here in the second.
Solid homestand for Nick. Hit a couple home runs, drove in a half dozen. As the Rockies went 4-4 earlier this month, he had a 13-game hitting streak. That's in there, 1-1. And a ground ball to second. There's 1, and the double play will end the second inning as it ended the first inning. No score, middle of 2.
The bottom of the second, and it's Chris Russin, the left-handed pitcher, starting for the Colorado Rockies since Jorge De La Rosa was scratched tonight. Chris Russin, new to the Rockies, although he's not new to his teammate, DJ LeMahieu.
We played in the same league in high school, and we faced him in the championship every year.
He was young, a little younger than me, so I only played, I think, 2 years against him. But I remember him being always battling at, when I'm pitching against him in the Catholic League, championship. He was one of those hitters that it was hard to get out. He was always battling.
He'd throw 6-7 innings, 1 run every time, and we'd lose 2-1. And so he's a really good competitor, and faced him in college. He was the same way.
Well, DJ LeMahieu would know because he played at LSU, and Chris Russin spent his college years at the University of Kentucky. It is just 70 miles south here in Cincinnati, so you can imagine with getting the start tonight, he has a lot of friends, a lot of family that came in to visit him and watch him get the start tonight for Colorado. In those years in Kentucky, he was there from 2006 to 2009, an all-SEC selection. And he has a nice little banner hanging down there as well. Actually was in Lexington myself a few days ago and happened to see that. So the pride of the Wildcats. And him and DJ not only spent those years in high school together and playing against each other in college, but they actually were both drafted in 2009 by the Chicago Cubs. So DJ and Chris spent their minor leagues together and were even roommates. So it's nice to have that familiarity, guys.
You bet. It's amazing sometimes how small the baseball world is. From Michigan to the Southeastern Conference, and now here they are in Cincinnati and both competing for the Rockies. Marlon Byrd, a leadoff single, and that'll bring up Chris Negron.
I think with so many travel teams now, all the different competitions through high school, summer leagues and collegiately that get played, that you make a lot of friends that you go, I remember facing that guy in the Cape Cod, or I remember facing him in the Northwest Wood League, or you see him somewhere playing baseball.
On the outside corner, a strike on Negron. Chris, a role player for Cincinnati, hitting just 127.
Now, the three positions that he can play are pretty well occupied by Frazier, Cozart, and Phillips. So your bats are not going to be very consistent. You got three guys that typically play every day. And that's tough to get your rhythm, tough to get your timing. As a hitter, the fielding part, you can take a lot of ground balls. You can simulate that. You can't simulate 92 and sink and cutting the baseball under the hands, all the things that go into that.
That's on the inside corner, strike three. And you're absolutely right, George, with their infield. It's kind of like the Rockies infield when Morneau's healthy. Those guys are going to be out there every single day.
Well, be careful with this guy swinging the bat. You don't want to come up and give him a cookie cutter and let him wail away on this. He can swing the bat a little bit. 167 average this year.
Well, he was, George told the story a little bit. He was a legitimate two-way player at Cal State Fullerton, and when you go to a program like Fullerton, it's unusual to pitch and play a position. He was a center fielder there, and he hit above 350 his last year there. There's the bunt, and Nick Hundley's going to throw him out. So Lorenzen sacrifices Bird to second, and Billy Hamilton will come up batting ninth for the second straight ball game. A lot of managers, and this is why Walt does this every once in a while, bat the pitcher eighth. He looks at the 9-hole as a second leadoff type of spot.
If you have the speed, you can do that. There are guys that can steal a base, move the ball over by bunting and outrunning the baseball. Brian Price trying to do anything he can to get some runs on the board.
Line drive right field. Cargo trying to get to it on one hop. Here's the throw to the plate, and did he get the tag? No. Bird avoided the tag, and no disagreement from Nick Hundley. So Hamilton drives in the first run of the game. Boy, Cargo got to it quickly.
11 RBIs now for Billy Hamilton, picked up by Cargo, circled it perfectly. A ball's a little bit high and a little bit up the line. I felt like maybe if Hundley could have got to the front, but if he does, it's over his head. He had to take the direction behind the foul line to catch the ball in order to get any kind of leather on it. Valiant effort by Nick to try to stretch and get the tag applied. This time Riggleman sent Bird, and it paid off.
Cozart hit a soft liner to third his first time. So a 2-out base hit with a runner in scoring position, so unusual for Brian Price to see this year. He came in hitting 163 in such situations last in baseball. This one is going to stay up for Barnes, and that'll end the inning. So the Reds take a 1-0 lead as we move to inning number 3. Jenny Cavnar from an overcast Cincinnati, Ohio. Brandon Barnes, Chris Russ, and Charlie Blackmon here in the third inning. Who wants tacos? When the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Make sure you do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. So Brandon Barnes ready to go. Hitting .529 since his call. It's got 4 doubles already. And a couple of outstanding plays on defense to boot. Gets a slider for a strike, going 1.
I talked a little bit last night about the adjustments he had made at Albuquerque, along with Dave Hadjic, Glenn Allen Hill. And he implemented, it's an upright stance at home plate, but he also implemented a little bit of a toe tap, something that Glenn Allen Hill had made the suggestion to Troy Tulowitzki a few years ago about putting that toe tap in to help your hands stay back in the hitting position longer. Front side doesn't pull off. You know, watch that lead foot as he stands in the box as you watch this ball game at home. A very slight toe tap with the lead foot to keep everything balanced.
On the ground to first, and Votto will take care of it.
I'll give you one more look at that. It's pretty easy to describe and pretty easy to look at, but it does help him stay back. Watch the lead foot with the shin guard on as he takes the stride back and loads to the backside. And a little bitty toe tap. It's all a timing device to get the hands in position to swing the bat.
Russin down the line, foul. That was kind of like swing we saw yesterday from Jason Marquis when he lined a double down the left field line.
Yeah, no kidding. So I shot it right down the line on a fastball up and away. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, this guy can swing it a little bit. You have to be a little more careful about what's going on.
And see that? You don't get the 3 automatic heaters after you line one down the line.
See the career average, 118. He does have a triple and a couple of RBIs. Well, he's had a number of starts. Most of them been in Wrigley Field, though, against Cincinnati. Swung the bat here very often, just one time. Fought off a high heater at 95. This is one of those at bats, and it may or may not happen, that you end up getting the guy out because he's the pitcher, but you throw like 10 or 12 pitches. He keeps fouling off, nicking the ball the entire time.
That would be the worst thing. Of course, the bullpen for the Reds has really struggled. They have the highest ERA in baseball. This ball's hit pretty sharply, but Votto's there, and he'll feed Lorenzen 2 outs. 2 gone. Charlie Blackmon will get his second look at Michael Lorenzen. Blackmon walked leading off the ball game.
66% first pitch strikes as he's gone through the Rockies lineup, and Blackmon will be the start of it, second time through. He's had 2 3-ball counts tonight with those couple of walks in the game.
Charlie 1 for 3 yesterday, couple of walks, scored a couple runs. And he leads the club in runs scored with 23. What you like out of your leadoff hitter, right?
341 on base percentage. Get over there to first base any way you can.
Mentioned Todd Tishner is behind home plate. Tim Welke, the crew chiefs, at first. Mike Everett at second. Tim Timmons at third.
Yeah, they were walking in. I said, oh, go on back home. You got a 2-hour rain delay. They all looked at me and said, "What?" Started laughing at him.
Lately, unfortunately, that's very believable misinformation that you tried to pass along. This ball's well hit to right, but right at Jay Bruce. So the Rockies go in order in the third. Middle of inning number 3. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. One nothing. Rockies trying to win for the 4th consecutive time for Walt Weiss. Joey Votto will be first. With every challenge call, the Subaru eyesight review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Votto walked in his first at bat against Chris Russin. Russin looks behind him, makes sure the defense is aligned as he would like.
Well, a lot of that too is all right, left-handed hitter up. If I throw something off speed and it's hit to the right side, I got 1 of 3 guys I got to go cover for and get over. How about this? Votto did that last night. We talked a little bit about this. He had a home run the opposite field, a double the opposite field, and goes the other way. And the only guy standing on the left side, he hit it right at him. Nolan Arenado.
Shortstop actions for Nolan, who played the spot. Most guys you'll find who are right-handed get to the big leagues were shortstops at some point early in their career, and then they get moved. Some get to stay shortstops, like Tulowitzki.
Well, when you're that good in high school, you just tell them where you want to play.
Is that how it works?
I'm playing shortstop.
You know, I've never asked you this. I've known you for 20-some-odd years.
No.
Almost 30. This is popped up. Did you ever play a position, or were you always just a pitcher?
Third base. I had Keith Drumright, All-American at Oklahoma in high school. That was the second baseman. Kelly Snyder, an All-American. Played first base on our high school team. And Bobby Deathridge played, he was also a high school third-round pick of the Dodgers. Got to the big leagues, played shortstop.
So
freshman year.
So when you weren't pitching your senior year, you played third?
No. Oh, gosh, no. I gave up all that my sophomore year. You know, they threw really hard, and the ball turned corners and did things, and I just couldn't hit it. I was very happy just to be on the mound.
So you were a track guy, a hoop guy, and a pitcher only.
True story. I used to go down track, and I would the senior year I'd go down to track, and I'd high jump, pole vault, and then I'd go up, throw a bullpen, and I'd go home and eat dinner.
That's your kind of lifestyle.
It was pretty good.
0-2. That's strike 3. I thought that was in there.
So Todd, how you doing? That's twice in a row you had to grab some pine meat. Going over there, make a right turn, going into the dugout.
So Chris Russin, 2 quick outs in the middle of that Reds order. That's his third strikeout, and all 3 backward Ks.
Well, you know what? He's looking at this going, all right, is he going to come back in with that fastball again? I got to react to it. If he does come inside with it, or do I want to wait and see? This is that little cutter. See, he's got a little cut on the end of that fastball, and it came from the outside to the middle. And it's kind of froze him up a little bit. Ball hit right hard at it, baby. Have another inning like that.
That was a short inning, the kind you love. With the former high school third baseman, sort of, George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman, 1-0 Cincy. Network viewers from Spanish Fork, Utah. Thanks for watching the Rockies on Root Sports. And be sure to tell us where you're watching from on Twitter at RootSports_RM. Use the hashtag WhereWeRoot. We've got a lot of Rockies fans on the other side of the hills. You know, it's bring your pooch to the ballpark.
It's called Bark in the Park, so you know.
Well,
it's not Pooch in the Park. It's called Bark in the Park.
Well, the Reds are expecting, according to their release, 580 dogs for Bark in the Park.
There's Snickerdoodle. You know what a Snickerdoodle is?
I do not.
You don't know.
You asked me if I do it.
Labrador bred with a poodle. It's a Labrapoodle. I call them Snickerdoodles.
I call them Labradoodles. DJ LeMahieu grounds out, 1 out. And that'll bring up Cargo for the second time. He hit the ball sharply up the middle, but the mound had a kick up in the air that allowed Kozar to get to it, tag the bag, turn it into a 6-3 double play. Well, our neighbor next door, I'm going to ask him to hold this up. Chris Welsh, who is longtime former big league pitcher, longtime colleague of ours on the Reds TV broadcast. He brought, as he said, his wife's little dog. This thing was, I brought him by you. I had him
tiny.
I scared you, didn't I?
Tiny.
He's running around their TV booth. He and Tommy Browneman are over there. We're going to steal that little dog and put him on our air here in a second.
Just leave the dog alone, Drew.
Oh, that dog's adorable. 1-0 on Cargo.
But he painted his feet red. Change up here at 90, fastball here at 92 with a great big sinker.
We're going to send Audrey to go get that dog, steal it.
All right, that's fine.
Here's the 1-1. Way inside, 2-1. It's bow tie night. It's Tuesday. Tuesday means bow ties here in Cincinnati. So Tommy and Chris have their bow ties on. Nicely done, boys. Is Marty wearing one also?
No.
This ball pulled to first, and Votto will make the play. 2 outs.
Well, it started out a little bit of long innings for him in the first and second inning. Higher pitch count. He's retired a few in a row now. A couple of double plays eliminated a lot of that in the first couple of innings after that pitch count started to climb up a little bit. But he's done nicely here the last couple of innings.
Yeah, I was thinking about this with the rain this afternoon. The rain virtually all weekend in Colorado. The early start yesterday after getting in at 3 in the morning. The last time the Rockies took BP out on the field was Friday before the opener against the Giants. It rained obviously in the 9th inning for almost 2 hours, but that's the last time you took outdoor BP 5 days ago.
It's worked so far. Keep doing it.
It has worked. It's worked okay. Here's the 0-1 on Troy.
Uh-oh.
Steve Spurgeon was ready to make a play.
Diving? Was it a diving play?
I hope Steve wasn't going to dive. Steve running stats for us. That's you normally say like somebody's better half, but Jenny obviously is Steve's better half, Jenny Kapner. But Steve, had he reached too far out of the booth, we would have had to grab him by the belt to keep him in the booth. 2 strikes on Michael Lorenzen, working to Tulowitzki. Tulo singled his first time up. Only hit for the Rockies, in fact. There's the great wave to all your fans at home. Former professional baseball player, now a coach.
Boy, Tulo right on that heater at 95.
Hard to get on top of that pitch. It was about shoulder high.
Yeah, tough to, as they used to say, it's tough to sneak the cheese by the rat.
You say that a lot about Vinny.
Yeah, can't sneak it by him. Go ahead, throw it as hard as you want to throw it, boys. Let it fly. We're going to get it by Vinny Castilla, Matt Holliday, a number of players, and Tulowitzki's right in that category.
Troy hits this ball to right center field. Hamilton will move back and make the catch. And that is 7 in a row now retired by Lorenzen. 1-0 Reds.
Headed to the bottom of the 4th here in Cincinnati. It's the Reds with a 1-0 lead over the Rockies. Well, at MLB tweeted earlier that there are 49 days until the All-Star game. That'll be right here at Great American Ballpark. The countdown is on. The excitement is on here at the ballpark. It should be a fun time. July 14th, that's coming up this summer. Hopefully a few Rockies will be in that Midsummer Classic. And, in fact, the Reds, they've hosted it more than once. They've hosted it 5 different times now, including this summer. Of course, a couple of those were at different ballparks since this ballpark just opened in the early 2000s. The first one they hosted July 6th, 1938 at Crosley. That was the 6th All-Star game in the history of it. And then their first game at Riverfront was the 41st All-Star game that happened in the 1970s. And then, of course, it'll be right here at Great American Ballpark coming up this summer. But again, fever is on. Don't you guys think? Everyone's talking about the All-Star game around here.
Yeah. Jenny, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
How do they dictate how long in between you get to host an All-Star game? And the Rockies had one in '98.
I wish I knew.
I know you did a lot of research on this, obviously, in the number of years. Some
I wish I knew.
20, some are 18, and some are 15. We need to go to work on
I know that Rockies fans would like to have it back at Coors Field. We do not need to have another Beanie Baby giveaway, though. We got to come up with something new.
There'll probably be something new, and the Rockies did such a great job in hosting it. The city did such a marvelous job, and we have a great reputation for hosting large events. So hopefully we won't have to wait 30 years from 98 because there are 29 other teams. Hopefully we can shorten that time frame. Anybody with a new stadium is going to, get an all-star game at some point.
Jenny, that was a hike. You're like way out there.
Chris Russin with a 2-2 count on Brian Pena. Way inside, 3-2. Pena with 2 men in scoring position in the first inning hit a soft liner at Ben Paulson. Reds have struggled to score this year, really of late. They're in their 9-game losing streak, averaging just 2.6 runs per game. And that's ball 4. Man, he made out like Pete Rose going to first there. Durden's flying up. He started running before that pitch hit Nick Hundley's catcher's glove. It's a second walk allowed by Russin.
They've really been controlling the strike zone prior to this inning. You think back, getting a few of these too. Hard ground balls, flip it. Going to be hard to turn it though with Marlon Byrd. Prior to that inning, he'd really been wearing out strike zone. Still doing that. 41 pitches, 29 strikes, and 12 balls. Good job by the lefty.
1 out, 1 on Chris Negron at the plate. Chris was caught looking his first time up. But the Reds last year struggled offensively. They hit just .238 as a team. They were 13th out of 15 teams in the National League in runs scored. You wouldn't think that with the names they have in this lineup and the ballpark they play in. They're hitting better out on the road this year than they are at Great American.
It's a tough struggle for them right now. For Brian Price and his staff, this team has not hit. They've been outscored by a lot of runs. They have not pitched consistently.
Blackman in center.
I'll tell you what Chris is doing in this, Russin's doing in this ball game. He is really varying speeds, 81 to 88 miles an hour, touching a 90 occasionally, moving a location. Been impressed so far.
During this 9-game losing streak, not just a 2.6 runs a game, but their ERA is 6.5. As George referenced, they've been outscored by a ton. They've been outscored by 36 runs.
Yeah, 59 to 23. And you look down their lineup, you'd say, how are they not scoring runs? I mean, this is a very good lineup when Brandon Phillips is in it, and he's just getting a night off tonight.
And Lorenzen takes a strike. He was in a bunting situation his first time up, got a sac bunt down. But this is a guy we're talking about at Cal State Fullerton. His last year there, hit .335 with 7 home runs, drove in 53. He was an All-American at Fullerton.
Soft roller, you got to be careful because he's got pretty good speed. He showed that on the bunt attempt a minute ago. For a big guy, he runs well.
Whenever there's a guy, George, that was a closer in college that becomes a starter, I always think of Josh Fogg, who was a closer at Florida, became a solid starter for a number of years in the big leagues. Part of that '07 World Series team for the Rockies, of course. That was Lorenzen. He was a closer.
35 saves while in college.
Nice play by DJ to end the 4th inning. So we move on to the 5th. Chris Russin doing his job. Rockies down 1-0. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Escape. Smart, safe, and fun to drive. Ford Escape, go further. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. So look at Great American Ballpark from the Kentucky side of the Ohio River. Covington, Kentucky, Newport, Kentucky, right across several bridges that can take you both ways. And Michael Lorenzen getting ready to go in the 5th inning. The Rockies have just one hit against Lorenzen. That was a Tulowitzki base hit up the middle. He's walked 2, nothing else, as he's thrown 49 pitches in 4 innings, which is a low number. And Chris Russin with a low number so far through 4 innings. In the 5th, Nolan, Ben Paulson, and Nick Hundley will get their second look at Michael Lorenzen, the 6'3" right-hander. Curveball.
Pretty nasty hook. Let's go back and look at where Nolan's hot zones are, Drew. Yeah, it kind of looks like there's only a couple of spots you don't want that you need to go to if you got a chance to get him out, huh? Everything else pretty red.
And what we mean by the pluses there, we want to explain that. Swung on a miss, 1-1. Nolan, for instance, balls low and away, hits 367 points better than the league average. Balls middle away, hits 171 points better than the league average. So you can notice everything on the outer half of the plate, he hits well above league average. And in fact, there aren't many spots that he's not above the league average. Curiously, they're one that's dead in the middle of the plate, right? He's hitting below the league average. And a ball middle in, he's hitting 124 points as of right now, below the league average.
Well, I think that in the middle of the plate, the one where he's hitting not so high, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact he doesn't see it very often. When he does, his eyes get so big, you know, because everybody's either pitching him in or pitching him away. And obviously, he's swinging the bat pretty well in all those areas of the plate.
1-2 on Arenado. Close, 2-2.
See, that's the pitch. When you're in AAA and AA, they swing at it. Up here, they take it. And you're just like, man, how did he just take that pitch? Well, you know what? They're pretty good. That's why.
And Nolan just missed it out front, and it's a fly ball to Bird and left. 1 out.
Well, if you'd like to come over to Coors Field on a game day or non-game day, and you'd like to bring a group out, or maybe just come as an individual, you can do that and take a tour of Coors Field. Call 303 Rockies and arrange that today.
Ben Paulson worked out a walk in his first at bat. went predominantly fastball first time through the lineup, and that pitch looked like it was off the plate, but it was called a strike. He's working a slider, and we saw an early curveball to Arenado, which he hasn't thrown many of. The fastball's pretty much sat on 94. We've seen some 95s as well.
You mentioned one of the highest fastball usages in baseball. 81% of the time he's been throwing it. And so now, you know, maybe he's trying to look a little bit of that. Also, you got a manager that was a pitching coach, and Brian Price. Hey, these guys haven't seen you. Let's try something a little different. Jeff Pico is now the pitching coach. Let's try some different things here. And made it a second time through the lineup after you established the fastball. Let's go off speed. That's the third foul ball that's gone by that lady over there. She does not have a glove. Go get one.
If there's 3 in her neighborhood, it sounds like she needs to bring a glove next time, right?
Yeah, more than likely somebody does.
And the strikeout for Lorenzen is his second of the ball game. 2 outs. That'll bring up Nick Hundley. Nick grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. One of the reasons Great American Ballpark has always relinquished a high number of home runs, the alleys, George, are inviting. 370 to right center, 375 to left center. That's not particularly deep.
No, it's really not. 404 to dead center. It kind of angles out very quickly to a point out there, but that 379 goes for a long time. A lot of time they'll start at 379 and then it'll bump out to like 380, 385, but that wall's pretty straight to the bullpen, and then it carries to a point there in center field at 404. 328 down the left field line. That's
this
quick.
Ball's not going to stay in the ballpark, and it's going to tie up the game. Nick Hundley goes second deck. Nick's 5th of the year, and it's 1-1.
5th home run of the season that he has given up. And Nick Hundley tied this ball game up to back up a strong performance by Chris Rusin so far in this game. 5 home runs, 16 RBIs now for Nick Hundley. Boy, stay hot. He's going to bat well all year long.
He's just been so consistent. Well, we were talking about the long ball, and Nick Hundley delivers.
Yeah, they signed him to settle down. The pitching staff have a veteran receiver behind the plate, and he's come in and hit as well as he has caught and done with his pitching staff. It's good to see.
"29 games for Nick Hundley in a Rockies uniform. He has a hit in 23 of them. How about that for consistency? Barnes at the plate. As we said, leaders among ballparks relinquishing home runs. Only Miller Park has allowed more. This is going to be a tough play. Deep short for Cozart. Plenty of arm strength, and he just did get Brandon Barnes. Well, he threw that flat-footed. That was impressive. The Rockies are all even after Nick Hundley's big fly. 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th at Great American. Here's our first bank game recap. It's been a pitcher's duel. Chris Russin and Michael Lorenzen. Nick Hundley just tied it up with a long home run to left. Billy Hamilton, a 2-out RBI single earlier in the ball game. Chris Russin making an emergency start. Jorge De La Rosa with that slight cut on his finger that he developed in his last outing. And his next start's been pushed back a few days. May happen Saturday in Philadelphia. Jordan Lyles, by the way, may get pushed a few days also because of that toe injury. He is coming along. You got to really move quickly. Tulo does a nice job to get Billy Hamilton. 1 out. And they'll flip the lineup over. Zach Cozart will come up. For Nick Hundley, that's his first road home run of the year. His stats really balanced. He's hit well out on the road. He's hit well at home. In fact, one of the surprising things about the first couple of months of this season, you know, the Rockies haven't played particularly well at Coors Field. A lot of guys have hit, George, for a higher average out on the road.
They have hit better out on the road this year, and maybe that's the emphasis being put. They haven't had a lot of good weather at home to hit in either. And we'll see how all that changes and turns out by the end of the year. It has a typical way of evening itself out.
Yeah, Nolan's hitting coming into the ball game 50 points higher on the road. 310 versus 260. Charlie Blackmon 293 versus 241 out on the road. There's a base hit for Cozart.
Well, he's swung the bat very well so far today. The hard line drive to start the game out to Nolan, the line drive to left field to Barnes, and then now this base hit. The first 10,000 through the gates on Sunday, June the 7th, will receive a Troy Tulowitzki bobblehead. That's all sponsored by Rapid City. The Rockies have been able to handle Joey Votto since 2013. He's combined .540, but overall in his career, he has hit over 300 against the Rockies.
And here's a guy that hasn't hit at home, which is shocking. Just .225 in his home ballpark. Out on the road, he's been more like Joey Votto, hitting .333 out on the road. A walk and a ground ball to third, really to short. Nolan's the only guy on the left side. And you really have to move closer to the bag with this alignment when you put 3 on the right side if you're Arenado, because he's got to be there on a right side ground ball. He's got to be able to be available to turn the double play. So there's about 75 feet of room from the third base line to where Nolan is positioned.
And see if he plays into it. Last time up, Votto hit the one hopper right to Nolan. He was walked in his first at bat. Counts 0-1 in the favor of Chris Russin right now with 1 out.
Well, the Rockies, George, have gotten some pretty good spot starts lately. David Hale came up, did a really nice job.
Did the ball very well. Well, this veteran guy, Hale, kind of a semi-veteran, been around the minor leagues a little bit, been up and down in the big leagues the last 3 years. Chris Russin, the last 3 years, been up and down, made starts, pitched here in the National League Central, familiar with the ballpark, everything else. So
I think you made a great point.
No panic there.
Yeah, you made a great point earlier, George, when we were talking about Russin, and that both of those guys, Russin, Hale, look out. Did that hit him?
No, it just
go
went
behind him.
Yeah, it went behind him. A little slippage there.
So moving up, obviously, is Cozart. But the point you made is that as opposed to bringing a guy up who's making his first career start and all the accompanying nerves and you know, calling family and that sort of thing to get him in, you got a guy who's been there, done that.
Yeah, he has done that. This fastball here is like, whoa, where's that thing come from? A little dance at home plate.
That would be the definition of a wild pitch.
A little bit. Just the 11th, though, that the Rockies have thrown with Nick Hundley behind the plate.
Now the Rockies change their defensive alignment. Tulo moves back on the left side. Arenado much closer to third with the runner at second. 1-2 count. And a ground ball foul. Boy, he fielded that without getting out of his chair. Told me that's how you used to catch Parker. Sat on a bucket, didn't you? Forget what the,
if you throw it by me, you got to go chase it. Did it with all 3 of my boys. Every swing he's taking, even with the shift the way it is, it's not really, it's a semi-shift. Everything's inside. They're dropping that back elbow, changing the path of the bat through the zone, trying to go to left field. Of course, the way you kind of counter that a lot of times, in my opinion, with a good hitter, bust them hard in. If they catch it going that way, it's going to be on the handles, and the hands are going to hurt.
Joey Votto, a native of Toronto. Another 1-2 from Chris Russin. Ground ball to second. DJ's got it. That's the second out. Cozart goes to third. Log on to CFD Rodeo /Aerosmith. An opportunity to win tickets to see Aerosmith in concert Wednesday, July 22nd at Cheyenne Frontier Days, summer's largest country music festival. So Todd Frazier has been called out on strikes twice.
But what's nice about it, it hasn't been the same location twice. It's been in underneath the hands for a strike. It's been a fastball up away into the zone, kind of a cutter that came outside in for a strikeout.
Ground ball foul. Surprisingly, he fires at the first pitch. This team is a notorious first pitch swinging team.
Yeah, what was it? Ted Williams hit like 400 swinging at the first pitch.
Makes a lot of sense.
The plate, but you know what? There's only been one Ted Williams.
But if you look at the numbers, when you put that first pitch in play, typically guys hit for a very high average.
So why doesn't everybody do it then?
Can't answer that. 1 ball, 1 strike. I know this, that they have put the ball, they have swung at the first pitch 33.7% of the time. The only team higher in baseball, the Houston Astros, and they're a big swing and miss team. They hit a lot of home runs, though.
The ballpark dictates it, just like this one does.
1-1 on Frazier. Just missed. 2-1.
We showed you earlier where all the home runs get hit in the ballpark's highest average. This is one of those. Then you also go to look back. Great American, Miller Park, kind of surprising. Camden, Minute Maids at almost over 2.5, and down in Houston.
No surprise, Yankee Stadium's there. To right field, if you're a left-handed hitter with any kind of pop,
good place to play.
Really good place to play.
Always has been, even in the new park and the old one.
2-1. Off the plate, 3-1. Jay Bruce is on deck. He's a lefty. Bruce has a double in the game and also a soft line out. I don't know if this is a pitch around, even though he's gotten him twice.
That's more of that chase my sinker away from it, I think, than anything, because he has had success with Todd Frazier. Bruce has hit the ball hard twice.
And he tried to get a changeup on the outside corner and missed. So a walk to Frazier, runners at first and third. With 2 outs, and Jay Bruce will come up. 1-1 game. We're in the 5th. Frazier has stolen 6 bases in 7 attempts. Brian Price has been very aggressive with this losing streak. I don't think he wants to take the bat out of Jay Bruce's hands, though. Bruce among his hottest hitters. 3 hits yesterday. And that's a strike. Nolan's, in that 5.5 hole, but he came storming over to the bag. Votto took a big lead. Of course, got an open side for a throwdown. There's the 1-1. That's fouled back.
I like this. Very slow pulse Chris Russin has on the mound. It's nothing quick. Doesn't get in a big hurry. Slows the game down. Makes the pitch when he needs to make it.
28-year-old out of Dearborn, Michigan. One and two on Jay Bruce. Good job freezing the feet of Frazier. 1 and 2, oftentimes a running count.
See, I like that. You notice what he did. He came set, and you have to come to a discernible stop. Some guys come and hold before they come to the plate. Then the next time they'll get a little quicker, then a little slower. Now watch Chris Russin when he comes set. Everything's legal here. Bam. As soon as that hand stopped for a second, everything gets real quick. Hand gets quick, body gets quick. Just try to give another look to the hitter. Sneaky, crafty lefty. I like it.
Just did get a piece. Frazier was in motion there.
If you just joined the telecast, I'll give you a quick look at Chris Russin. We'll try to do that here with runners on first and third. University of Kentucky, drafted by the Cubs in 09, 4th round. No hitter a year ago with the Iowa Cubs. Major league debut was back in 2012 with the Chicago Ball Club on August the 21st.
Here's a senior sign out of Kentucky. One, two. And that's fouled off. Little buddy Billy Hatcher making the play at first base.
Yeah, an outfielder. What's he thinking about? A, he thought he'd show off, or B, he's just too old to get out of the way.
Combination of both, perhaps?
Yeah. Yeah, Billy's been here a long time. Been here through 2 or 3 managers, actually, working here. He worked for a long time at the big league level with the Houston Astros. Came over here along with Dusty Baker. But he has survived a number of these. Very well respected by Walt Jocketty in the organization for his work, energy. Well, on a 1-2 count, Jay Bruce has fouled off the cutter away, the slow curveball away, the changeup in. You know, they may be wanting to come in with the fastball, but Chris Russin doesn't feel comfortable right now going in there. Maybe I just want to stay away, take it off the plate a little bit more. I'm going to take a little sneak peek here, ask for the sinker. I'm going to take it outside in, though.
Left field, Barnes near the corner. It is a foul ball.
Elevated fastball. And you play into the hands of guys like Bruce and Votto that's got some power to that opposite field in a ballpark where it carries. Barnesy, nice run, nice effort trying to get to that baseball. Wasn't going to catch it, about halfway up the wall.
Been one of the longest battles of the game. Russin's gotten a lot of quick outs for the most part. Just 4 hits allowed.
Yeah, they want to slow things down a little bit here.
Change
back,
up.
yep, go to the changeup. Just throw it down the middle, basically what he's asking for. You throw it to an area and I'll get it. They switched it. Now they're going to go fastball in.
Another 1-2. He's got him. Good pitching from Chris Russin. And the Reds leave runners at first and third. It remains tied at 1 as we go to the 6th inning in Cincinnati. Good hard sinker. For the 6th inning, the Rockies one came last inning, a 416-foot home run off the bat of Nick Hundley. Michael Lorenzen still out there for the Reds. It'll be Chris Russin, Charlie Blackmon, and DJ LeMahieu. Boy, looking across the river at the Kentucky side, the sun coming out, a lot of the clouds have departed, and seeing the reflection over there, it's pretty.
What a beautiful rainbow. Yeah, that's neat.
Russin takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. He grounded to Joey Votto his first time.
Yeah, both these pitchers have settled down. Ball in on the fist. 2 quick strikes here. 47 strikes, 22 balls on the night.
You know, he doesn't take a bad hack.
13 of 19 first pitch strikes now. That's good. Pretty good. No, it takes a great hack. You kidding? One of those two-way guys, probably. Got a little toe tap. Got the open stance. Well, you know, you got to swing the bat against National League teams when you're in AAA, so you have to swing it a little bit, or learn how to swing it a little bit, I should say.
This ball is well hit to left, and it's going to die, though, in the glove of Marlon Byrd. Gave it a ride.
Well, one of the unusual times at Coors Field, you got 3 clubs coming in. Dodgers, Marlins, and Cardinals. They all come to town the 1st through the 10th. Make sure you get your tickets. Dial up the Rockies at rockies.com/tickets or 303 Rockies.
Charlie Blackmon taking his time, letting Chris Russin get a few extra moments of rest. Age-old tradition for the leadoff hitter. Charlie, a walk and a line drive to right. It's in there for a strike. Rockies have just 2 hits. The home run, obviously, by Nick Hundley, and a 2nd inning leadoff single by Tulowitzki. And that catches the inside part of the zone. It's 1-2. There's Brandon Barnes. Brandon Barnes grew up playing against Michael Lorenzen's brothers, older brothers, in Anaheim. He knew about Michael, and so he knows the family well. Anaheim area kid. Stayed local, went to Cal State Fullerton. Strike 3.
It's been called all night long by Todd Tishner. The ball up and away to the left-handed hitter, and he rings up Charlie on that one. I know Charlie's going to disagree with it. I'm sure the 4th strike zone, if we can throw that up there pretty quick, we'll figure out where that is. But, you know, Charlie's thinking it's high and a little bit off. It does catch the top of the zone, but it is off, in my opinion. I agree with you, Charlie.
So here's DJ, a strikeout and a ground out, and he gets a breaking ball that buckled the knees for a moment. 0-1. And that's gloved in the air by Lorenzen, and it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Michael Lorenzen. He has pitched well, as has Chris Russin.
Reds have out hit the Rockies 4-2. And the day after every Rockies win, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Remember the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com.
Jorge, that's a great job. Nice job with that.
Well, they didn't say the play-by-play guy had to get to all the glory of reading all that stuff.
No, you did well. You did well. See, if you're sitting at home right now, just get on the Papa John's website, get a little mid-game pizza pie. Brian Pena will lead things off, bottom of the 6th inning for the Reds. Rockies have won 9 of the last 14 against the Reds. Reds a year ago finished 76 and 86. Pena, Bird, and Negron.
You know what, the Rockies have been able to get some extension out of their starters. Of course, Chad Bettis on Sunday did a great job working 8+. Go foul. Last night, Eddie Butler went 6, gave up 4. And here, Chris Russian's working into the 6th inning. He's given up 4 hits, 1 run so far. That run came in the 2nd inning.
See, the umbrellas are out again.
They are.
Well, I was just talking about a rainbow and
why did you bring
clear
that up?
skies, and now it's raining.
No.
Inside.
See, for players, we just look down to see if the grounds crews come out and if they're kind of inching towards the tarp and going to make a fast run at it.
Pulled to third. And I tell you what I would think, George, it's toughest on, and that's, I mean, when you have just this kind of rain, it's not a heavy rain, but it's enough that the grass gets wet, so an infielder picks up a ball, and all of a sudden you almost have to take that extra moment to make sure you have a good grip on it.
Well, that and the fact that your range gets diminished because the ball's much quicker on the wet grass. So, I mean, a lot of these great plays you see made, sometimes you won't see those made for the simple fact that your range gets cut in half. 18 of 24 first pitch strikes so far. Chris done a nice job with that. He's pitched very, very well tonight.
Charlie Felix, evidently our staff photographer, nothing to
sit.
Yep, he's got to get down. Fargo's got it. Wow.
Got knocked down.
He got knocked down by the wind, evidently. Charlie Felix, our lead staff photographer, time to tweet out. Chris Russin is pitching a beautiful game. 2 outs in the 6th inning, and Chris Negron coming up.
I would agree 100%. All about first impressions, and it's definitely a good one here.
Strikeout and a fly ball to center field for Negron. And that's strike 1. Strike 1. You'll hear pitching coaches say this, George, and you're a de facto pitching coach. It's the best pitch in baseball, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely 100% correct. That's fun. I love to do that to kids that are about 10 to that 16 range. What's the best pitch in baseball? They all answer curveball, slider, knuckleball, changeup, sidearm hook, all that stuff. And I go, how about strike 1?
First pitch strike. How about that? Best pitch in baseball. 0-2.
Well, I think sometimes pitchers pitch away from the contact, depending on what bark they're pitching in. The Rocky staffs over the years have had difficulty with that at times, wanting to pitch, even though some guys probably wouldn't admit it, pitching away from contact. Trying to get guys to reach out, maybe get it on the ground a little bit. Next thing you know, you're in a hitter's count at 2-0, 3-0, 3-1.
'29-year-old Chris Negron. Here's the 0-2. Just inside, 1-2. That's strike 3, and Chris Russin a quick 1-2-3 6th inning. Gotta love it. Moving on to inning number 7. Rockies and Reds tied at 1.
in Cincinnati as we head to the top of the 7th. Well, the rain is coming down. The good news is the tarp is not on the field, and the Rockies are not in a rain delay. That's because the rain seems to have followed them all season long. 10+ hours of rain delays, 4 postponed games at home. It's been a lot to deal with, but I got to talk to Nick Hundley yesterday, and he said it's all about your mental state.
I feel like you just got to block it out. You know, I think if you start thinking about it too much, you know, it'll take your focus away from what's important. So, you know, being in San Diego, and we think we had 1 rain delay in 6 years. In Baltimore, I got a little more action last summer. There was a couple more weather delays, so it kind of got you prepared for this. And then, you know, I've played high school ball in Seattle, so you never know if you're going to play or not. So, you know, you're used to it.
So it's no surprise that the rain is here. A lot of the players before the game kept coming out when the rain was really pouring down, checking on it, running back in. And, you know, George, for a player, as you're warming up, especially for the starting pitcher, I saw Chris Rustin come out here a few times, your mentality has to just kind of, you know, stay solid every single game, no matter what that weather's going to be.
No question at all. You're 100% correct, Jenny. I mean, you just got to put it into your mind. It is what it is. I mean, I got to get loose. I got to go out and prepare for the game. Now, if they tell me we're going to start on time, then I believe them. I'm going to go get ready to go in between innings. It's kind of the same thing. You know, you're up here for a spot start. You're throwing the ball extremely well. You want to pick off a win. You're trying to make all those impressions that you can make on this ball club. And he's made a big one on me. I can tell you that. He's throwing the ball extremely well.
Tulo takes a strike. It's 1-1. Michael Lorenzen, at the big league level at least, in uncharted territory. This is the first time he's ever pitched into the 7th inning. His longest previous outing came at Pittsburgh earlier in the month. He worked 6 innings. This ball's in the air to Bird. Easy play, 2 outs.
Just 6 hits in the game total right now. Cincinnati with 4. The Rockies have 2. Tulowitzki got 1 back in the 2nd inning. The 2nd hit, the big home run by Nick Hundley. Other than that, it hadn't been much.
Nolan, a foul out and a fly ball to left field. It looks like he is. I know he doesn't have any results, George, but it looks like he's seen it well against Lorenzen.
Well, I think he is. I mean, it's coming right over the top, and anytime a guy knows to expect 92, 96, you got to get the hands going a little bit quicker. You just hope you catch him in that 3rd time around. Maybe you get up with a fastball and make him pay for it. I swear, you look at Lorenz on a close-up. We just had a close-up of him right there. Is he shaving yet? He was like a little kid, even though he's 6'6" and about 230 pounds.
Twice a week.
Yeah, that face, man. That's a young kid out there on the hill. Very focused right now. I'll give him credit for that.
Runs the fastball inside underneath the hands. It's 1-2.
Of course, the Major League Draft getting ready to happen.
June the 8th.
A lot of those college pitchers will be seen again this week as they go into regional play. High school guys have finished up their seasons. They'll be going to a lot of pre-draft workouts.
Rockies have a number of selections.
4 in the first 58. Is that what it is? Something like that?
It's forget what it's 4 in the first.
Got a lot.
Yeah, is it 4 in the first 77 or? I'll look it up exactly. 3-2 on Nolan, and our own Ryan Spilborghs will be announcing that first selection. Good job by Nolan. He held up, and he'll go down to first. That's the 3rd walk allowed by Lorenzen. First base runner since Nick Hundley was trotting around the bases in the 5th inning.
And Spilly better follow directions. So UC Santa Barbara player that there is a big right-hander at UC Santa Barbara. So if Bill Smith calls in and says, hey, we're going to take Drew Goodman out of Arapahoe High School in Denver, Colorado, and all of a sudden Spilly goes, no, we're going to take the guy at Santa Barbara.
Well, you know what?
That's going to work out well for him.
If Billy Schmidt were to lose his mind and do that, which I don't think he'd do.
I was putting in a hypothetical name there, not you.
Right. No, but Spilly has been talking up that big right-hander. Yeah, it throws hard out of UCSB. It's 4 in the first 44.
There you go. And I know last week at the Big 8 or the Big 12 tournament in Tulsa that Rick Matthews and Erickson and Jay Matthews, they were all there watching a lot of the arms from TCU. They give it a couple there. Farrell, their closer, throws extremely hard. Young, the left-hander.
Dylan Tate is the right-hander. Uh-oh.
Yeah, tried a sneak attack. Didn't work. Umpire getting in the way now. Get out of the way.
That didn't work out well. Nolan Arenado tried to leave early, and Lorenzen stepped off the back, and that ends the inning. Middle of 7, 1-1.
How about Chris Rutzen tonight in this ball game? He's been outstanding. Those 5 strikeouts coming on the inside part of the plate. And you got Todd Frazier's made a couple of right turns. He got Bruce with a big sinker on the inside part of the plate. Came back with the heat inside. It's been a fun night to watch Chris Rutzen on the mound tonight. He has been able to go out and set him down. You look at the last 4 starts for the Rockies. David Hale, outstanding. Bettis, Butler, and now Mr. Rutzen out on the mound and is doing a great job. 6 innings, just 1 earned run given up, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. He will deal with towards the bottom of this lineup. They're going to allow their pitcher with 90 pitches to go ahead and swing the bat here. Of course, it's not your normal hitting pitcher either, as Drew has talked an awful lot about at Cal State Fullerton. 7 home runs, 53 RBIs his senior year, hit 330, 340. He knows what he's doing with the lumber in his hands.
You know, Brian Price did something interesting with him a couple of weeks ago. They lost a ball game to the Giants 10-2, and they put him in the ball game as a pinch hitter in the 5th, and they kept him in to pitch after that. Wow, he did get up the line. DJ will take note of that. That was a close play.
And he did that on the bunt attempt back in the 1st inning too. Follow the Rockies baseball in 2015 with MLB.com @bat on your phone, smartphone, or tablet, featuring scores, highlights, stats, and a whole lot more. Download MLB.com @bat.
Well, you expect to get rid of it quickly when you know Billy Hamilton's running. Usually when the opposition pitcher's running, you feel like you have a little more time, but this is a young kid with long legs.
On a 3-hopper, but yeah, you got to remember too, though, this is a guy that played center field for a high-profile college program. One more look at what Drew's talking about. You get the 2-hopper out to second base. One of them had a little bit of a high hop, got to charge the baseball, and a quick flip over. Barely got him.
Hamilton hits it in the air. Cargo puts his glove out.
Yeah, there's one thing that if you're Brian Price that you don't want Hamilton to do, and that's put the ball in the air.
Hard to utilize the wheels if somebody's camped underneath it.
The only way you utilize that when the ball goes into the air is making that turn to head back to the dugout. 9 out of 10 times.
6 in a row set down by Chris Russin. Zach Cozart 1 for 3. Solid single to center in the 5th inning.
8 ground ball outs, just 2 fly ball outs so far. 85 pitches in the game, 59 strikes.
Continues to rain again.
It is
lightly.
It's not raining in here,
fortunately.
That's a clear up shower is what we call those.
And that's outside. 3-0. You want to take care of Cozart right here. You have Votto on deck, 2 outs, nobody on. 1-1 game, bottom of 7.
Well, you want to give yourself a chance. You got 2 outs. You got a right-handed hitter up at the plate. Now you're going to have a left-hander with Votto, one of the better hitters in the game. What I say, give yourself a chance to win the game. You're tied 1-1. You want to force Walt's hand and have him go to the bullpen.
Brooks Brown, and again, one of the things Walt really likes about Brooks Brown, his ability to get out left-handers as well as right-handers.
Yeah, it's got good velocity. He's got the good breaking ball. There's a number of things he can do. He can go multiple innings. Pitcher due up 4th in the top of the 8th inning.
And Votto takes a strike. Joey a walk, a ground ball to 3rd, and a ground ball to 2nd. Rockies have 3 on the right side for Votto.
Yeah, the Rockies, I dare you to try to go to left field.
Ground ball to 2nd. DJ's there, and recovering's Paulson. He actually got back to the bag, and that ends the inning. So that shift works out. DJ was over in that hole. We'll go to the 8th, still tied at 1. How about the effort from Chris Russ, and Steve Foster goes over, and Kyle Kendrick as well, giving him a handshake. In all likelihood, looks like that'll be all. Boy, if you told Walt Weiss before the game Chris Russ is going to come up and he's going to throw 90 pitches, 61 strikes, get you through the 7th inning, he's going to allow 1 run on 4 hits, you'd take that every time.
Yeah, you'd be jumping with joy, and that's what they'd like to do, is get him a run here and get him a win, just to really put a little icing on this cake for him.
Hey, who wants tacos? Fans, follow at @Root_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special, and the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Well, the Reds have also said nice job to Michael Lorenzen as he goes 7 strong innings, allowing just 1 run, and they'll hand it off to Jumbo Diaz. Diaz very good yesterday. He pitched 1 inning and struck out the side.
94-98 yesterday. Kind of a nice story. It's been talked about quite a bit. 2-0 record in 20 ball games. 638 earned run average, 18 to the third, 20 punch outs. He doesn't walk people. And that's the one thing that had kept him in the minor leagues for 9 years. Oh, he's been a hard thrower. 5 years in AAA. First offering 97 will be popped up behind home plate. And a souvenir. You got to make a catch on that. Come on. If you're going to sit in the rain, catch the baseball, right?
Well, that's tough.
Stop.
That's
Come
tough.
on. You got to catch the ball.
Lorenz?
Taking a vote in the booth. Should he have caught the ball? Yeah, 8-1, Drew.
Boy, that sounded like an old Chicago election. You counted that fast?
That fast. Cingrani is warming up the left-hander. Cingrani, excuse me. The left-hander warming up down in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. He threw an inning last night, a clean inning.
Here's the 0-1. That's pop foul also. There's Cingrani.
Yeah, he's just starting to get it going.
Paulson faced Diaz yesterday. In fact, 2 of the 3 in this inning for the Rockies faced Diaz yesterday. Paulson and Barnes. Off the plate.
And it was.
Well, Michael Lorenzen, the best start of his young career. 7 innings, a run on 2 hits. That was a home run to Nick Hundley. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. One, 2 off the end of the bat. Diving stop, Frazier. He gets up. Did he get him? Out at first. We'll see, though. That was really close. I think EY pointing toward the dugout along with Ben Paulson. Asked Walt to take a look at it.
And it's a highlight play the way you want to look at it. Todd Frazier had a dive, catch it here, and get right to his feet in a hurry. Then the strong throw over, skip. You saw that came off. I think he's out by about a half a step. Foot starting to come down, ball's hitting the glove. Did you see the water splash off of that ball on that first shot we had?
That was a heck of a play by Frazier. I'm sure Nolan Arenado appreciated that. And he was out. Here's Hundley. Hit another one, Nick. Tonight's game changer brought to you by T-Mobile. It was the home run to tie the game from Hundley with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Second deck shot. He went into his trot early. He knew that was gone. 416 feet of travel. And he swings through a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. A ball and a strike on Nick. Grew up in a lot of different ports, as his father was an outstanding college football coach, moving around. You've heard us tell the story before. Spent some time in Boulder growing up when his dad was on the CU football staff. That's low. 2-1. And Nick was a very good high school football player as well. Some opportunity to play at the Division I level. Thanks, Mark Stout. First home run in Cincinnati in 3 years. Doesn't get to play here a lot. 6 home runs last year between San Diego and Baltimore. He's sitting on 5 right now. Here's the 2-1. And that is going to get through enough that it'll be a base hit. So Nick has 2 of the Rockies' 3 hits, and with 1 out, the go-ahead run aboard. Brandon Barnes coming up.
That's all about where you hit the baseball, and that's exactly what Nick Hundley did. He rolled over on this fastball and got it over into the hole. A play that Cozart able to knock the ball down, but not do anything with it after that.
Rockies will go to their bench after Barnes with Russin due up. Initially, it'll be Rafael Noah. And that's more bunt for a hit from Barnes, the way he moved late. Pitch was called the ball.
Yeah, that's just some old-fashioned rare back, giddy up, and here it is. Hit it if you can.
I'm a little surprised defensively. Todd Frazier is playing right on the line with a guy who works in the upper 90s.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter, because if it's a sinker in and you give up the line, I'd rather give up the single than the double. You're in the 8th inning. Not going to give up the extra base hit, regardless of how hard this guy throws or doesn't throw. I mean, the last thing you want to do is catch a guy cheating. All of a sudden, or a guy hangs a slider and he hits it right down the line, and you're not there, and it turns into a double and a loss.
One and one on Barnes. 2 ground outs in the game. And he tried to bunt again. It's 1 and 2.
This is one of those deals. Just kind of a weird feeling you get as an ex-player and as a player when you're sitting in the dugout. Try a couple of bunts, not successful. Guy hangs a slider and you hit a country mile. Huh. Then everybody says, why are you trying to bunt anyway?
I like that premonition.
Not this time.
2 outs. And that'll bring up Rafael Ynoa.
That's just some rare back 4-seam 97-mile-an-hour cheese. Man a mano, as they like to say.
Well, we're about where we were yesterday, George. Tie ball game late.
All right, here you go again. And Noah, you'd like to see him spray it around a little bit. Walter gets this hard thrower. Walleen's faced him yesterday and struck Walleen out. If you're thinking, do you go to the power side? Any wild pitches?
That's helpful.
That'll help.
Now throw out a base hit, and you got a chance to take the lead.
I mean, that missed very badly. That's when you walk out to the mound if you're Pena and go, hey, I want to talk to you, man. You're throwing 100 miles an hour, and then you misfire me with a guy on base. Can't have it.
Jeff Pico's going out also. League leaders are brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. We'll check that while we have a moment. National League average with runners in scoring position. The Rockies are 20 points better than the Atlanta Braves, and that's the top spot in the National League. And the Rockies have really swung the bats well the last 4 or 5 days. Rockies with 37 runs over their last 5 ball games. They've had only 1 opportunity tonight with a runner in scoring position, and they're 0 for 1. 1-0 to Ynoa. Saw his numbers a moment ago. Rafi's done a great job off the bench. 5 for 15. He's going to give you a good at bat. Huntley will try to get as strong a secondary lead as he can. Off the plate, 2-1 at 98. Best arms are in center and right. Bird can throw also, though. 3 decent arms out there in the outfield for Cincinnati. This is bounced over the mound slowly, and a good play by Negron. That'll end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies won and the Reds won. Great American Ballpark on a Tuesday evening. A little bit. It is, for the most part, stopped raining. Bottom of the 8th inning, Brooks Brown's going to take over after 7 outstanding innings from Chris Russin. Time for the CenturyLink link to what's next. Tomorrow afternoon, Kyle Kendrick will go against Mike Leake. No television tomorrow afternoon. We'll pick up again on Friday from Philadelphia. So Kyle will make his 10th start, and his last few have been outstanding. And Kyle will not get to pitch at all this year, despite 7 ball games against the Phillies. Won't get to pitch against his former club.
Yeah, how about that? Pretty crazy. It's 15 games he's going to appear in now for Brooks Brown. The ERA at 4.20. 15 innings, 9 strikeouts. Left-handers, you like it. 182. Right-handers, just 257. He will get Frazier, Bruce, and Pena. Excuse me. Yeah, Pena will come up. Frazier in his career, typically a very good fastball hitter. Brown can counter that with the hard slider. Bruce 0 for 1, Cozart 0 for 1, Hamilton 1 for 1. That's the only career notes against Brooks Brown so far, as far as the Reds are concerned. If you just joined us too, Flondy was sent down to Albuquerque to make room today for Chris Russin on the line up on the roster. So there's one less left-hander in the bullpen for the Rockies now. You have Friedrich and Logan down there.
And again, Jorge De La Rosa couldn't make his start with that cut on his finger, but he was throwing with a sock on his hand earlier today, so to keep his arm in shape but not irritate that finger. I know that sounds kind of strange.
Well, you do a lot of towel drills is what you're doing with it. Kind of same thing as throwing the baseball. You have a little bit of wind resistance, so you get a feel for it.
Way outside, ball 1. Brown, a hard thrower. Out of the University of Georgia, former #1 pick out of Georgia by the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2006. Toiled a long time in the minor leagues.
I never gave up hope, which I thought was pretty good. I mean, as a starting pitcher, his velocity is not anything near to what it is out of the bullpen. And the Rockies had signed him as a 6-year minor league free agent. Thought they would give it a shot out of the bullpen, and he has responded very well.
2-0 changeup for a strike.
That's a separator, and you could be able to do things of that nature with behind in the count. Fastball counts, put it in a good location.
Fouled off, 2-2. Well, a crowd of 22,523, over 23,000 if you count the pooches, George.
Thought you were going over to play with the dog a minute ago.
I was trying to steal it from Welsh and Brenneman, but they got like barbed wire fence around.
Oh man, good
just
pitch.
Missed, yeah.
You know, just about a 4th strike zone. You see it's just a little bit off, but from up here, pretty good pitch. How'd you take it? Wow. See, that's one of those pitches that if you're in AAA, it's either called a strike or they swing at it. Here they don't. Tried to hook this, going to cast the bat out around the baseball, a soft ground ball. Troy Tulowitzki makes the play.
Troy did a good job moving his feet, making sure he got the short hop as opposed to an in-between hop. 1 out. Frazier will go to the dugout. That'll bring up Jay Bruce. Bruce had a double in the 1st inning. Reds had a chance to score in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd with 2 outs. And Russin got Pena to hit a little soft liner to first to end the threat. Swung on and missed. Went off speed again. And another changeup, doubled up on it.
Sometimes when you get out of altitude, you get out on the road, a certain pitch you throw down in the bullpen seems to work really well for you. The key is keeping it the same temperament from the bullpen to here. That ball's got a ton of dive on it. Yeah, good pitch, Brooks Brown.
And then he went to it again, 1-2. Jay Bruce, a scary customer. He's hit more than 30 home runs in a season 3 times, 11, 12, and 13. 6 times he's hit more than 20. Last year he had an off season, hit just 18 in 137 games. Two and two. Best year was 2013. Hit 30, drove in 109 with a 262 average. Been an all-star a couple of times. Two and two. He's got soft on him.
Rockies Dugout Stores, the place to be for all things Rockies, with the best selection of Rockies merchandise and tickets, plus exclusive new Peanuts bobbleheads of the month. That's what it says, Peanuts. See what's it say? Read that.
No, you're right. See if he brings the fastball here. 2-2. He did. And it's bounced to first. 2 outs. Easy play for Ben Paulson.
He's been pretty busy all night long. He's played a very good first base. His natural position. A minute ago on that big swing when he dove for the ball, he recovered, got back to first. Chris didn't have to get there to cover the bag.
Brian Pena from the left side for the first time tonight. 0 for 2 and a walk.
Yeah, he thought about it because of what the Rockies put up the big shift. So he thought he was thinking about maybe, hey, I'll take this ball and push it up the third base line and beat it out.
On the ground slowly. Nice play on both ends. Nolan skipped it across, and a good pickup by Paulson. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning. Well, the Rockies will try to do what they did yesterday, rally in the 9th against Aroldis Chapman.
Boy, nice play right here. Nolan comes and gets it. How about the scoop by Paulson?
Tied at 1 as we go to the 9th inning. It'll be Blackman starting it out against Aroldis Chapman once again. But first we check in with Mark Stout in Denver. Mark. All right, Mark. Aroldis Chapman yesterday gave up the 1 run and ended up being a sac fly off the bat of Nolan Arenado. But what got the Rockies in position to get the go-ahead run was a walk by Charlie Blackman leading off against Chapman. So here we go again. And I have to be honest, George, yesterday, it looked like Chapman was, I don't want to say disinterested, but didn't start out firing his A game at the Rockies because it was a tie game. And then when there was traffic, that's when all of a sudden he dialed it up about 5-6 miles an hour. And his first pitch tonight, different. It's 100. It was 95, 95, 96 when he faced Charlie yesterday.
What's the difference? I mean, 95, 110. Come on. It's like you start thinking 10 miles an hour. Are you kidding me? He's airing it out right now, folks. 99 with that one, 100 on the first one. And last night, you're right, first 4 pitches to Charlie were in the kind of low to mid 90s, and all of a sudden it turns it up when he had traffic, and we get the little flare to right field. Good things happen.
DJ watched the at bat yesterday, and he said, man, he's not throwing as hard for some reason. That's 101. And when he got up there, he ended up on a slider, looping a ball just inside the right field line. They got the Rockies in position to get the go-ahead run across, first and third after his single. But he's throwing triple digits here. This is fouled off on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. You talk about a tough at bat. I don't know. Guys used to say when they faced Randy Johnson from the left side how uncomfortable that was. This has got to be the most uncomfortable at bat for a left-handed hitter in baseball.
I tell you what, though, Drew, here's the thing. He's a strike thrower. Typically, he throws strikes. And he's right over the top. I mean, he's kind of a high three-quarter guy coming in. It's not like Randy at 6'11" kind of drop out to that low three-quarter sometimes where the ball would come out and you had the long arms and it's coming out from behind you and staying on line. He is straight over the top. And so I think you're not, I don't want to ever say you're comfortable seeing 100 miles an hour, but you're a little more comfortable because it's out of the same arm slot. It's on top. It's coming straight down at you. Now it's just a matter of timing and pulling the trigger on it, and it's hard to do. There's no question about it.
And Charlie has worked the count full again.
Well, I mean, again, this is where he's able to foul off some pitches, lay off the high heat, because obviously they're seeing it a little bit, or they would not be able to lay off of that pitch that's above the belt that's at 99. You'd be hacking away at it. Yep. That's a great swing on a 101-mile-an-hour fastball down and away. So you have to, if you're looking at Charlie and you're looking from center field, it's the normal leg kick. There's no bail. It's not stepping out in any fashion. It's right towards Chapman.
See his numbers with the full count. Strike 3. He went slider and got him at 87.
That's just not fair. Dial up the heater like that. I mean, Charlie walking away shaking his head laughing, going, you challenged me with 101. Then you're going to give me now you're going to give me the slider at 87 miles an hour. Thought it might be a little off the plate and a little bit elevated, but obviously home plate umpire Todd Tishner disagreed. He's called that pitch all night, though. It's not something that's been inconsistent.
So here's DJ, a strikeout, a ground ball to third, and a soft line drive back at Lorenzen. Well, here's the hit he had against Chapman yesterday. Not a thing of beauty, but it worked out.
Well, it did work out. He's 1 for 1 in his career now after that base hit and spun away from Brandon Phillips.
And it's 2-0.
I remember playing and going in and seeing Nolan Ryan pitching against you. You'd see, you couldn't tell how hard it was because you couldn't see it. But 101 miles an hour. Man, are you kidding me? It's like lighting it up. 99 there. Nolan only grunted on the curveball, though. Why didn't he ever grunt on the 102-mile-an-hour fastball?
Two balls and a strike on LeMahieu.
So I tell you, these guys must see the ball really well off him, because they're just taking really good, steady swings at it. They're not anything like, oh man, I got to hurry up. They're not changing their hacks at all.
I talked to DJ earlier. I said, what's the difference for you this year? It's not like he was a bad offensive player last year.
He was solid. Really good.
Yes, very solid offensive player. He said, if I could simplify it, he goes, confidence, and I'm more relaxed.
Well, I mean, here he's won a Gold Glove. The year before, he played brilliant defense. Probably should have won that year. I think, what did he make, 4 errors all year? So, I mean, when you see that, defensively, it's all confidence. People always thought he'd be a guy to hit a lot of home runs because he's 6'4", 215 pounds. I think understanding who you are and what you are as a hitter, but also
2-2 in the air to center field. Shallow center off the end of the bat, and it'll drop. DJ took a wide turn, and backing things up was Marlon Byrd. So another base hit for LeMahieu off of Chapman, and the go-ahead run in the 9th inning's aboard. Cargo coming up.
Defensively, everything's back. You don't want any doubles in this situation. So Hamilton was really deep regardless of his speed. They had him playing extremely deep. This ball off the end of the bat with a big swing by DJ. And then this ball's into the outfield. Hamilton, you can see, was playing into right center. He took off flying. He didn't have a play on this. Backed up by Byrd. When I started to finish, Drew, on DJ, he's accepted who he is and what he is as a hitter. And the team he's playing for has accepted that. I think with the Cubs, they expected a lot more home runs when he was there as a #1 draft pick. And so that confidence is given on a two-way street.
1-0 on Cargo.
Yeah, DJ has speed, but a left-hander on the mound, you're just not comfortable getting that big lead at first base.
Been about the pitching tonight. 1 run, 4 hits for the Reds. 1 run, 4 hits for the Rockies. Three groundouts in the game for Carlos Gonzalez. High, 2-0 at 100. I'm still amazed at where Billy Hamilton plays defensively. I know he's got world-class baseball speed, but George, I mean, he's ridiculously shallow, especially late in the ball game.
But he wasn't there when DJ hit. He was much deeper, and that's why the ball fell in front of him. Maybe he's just shortened it up with Cargo. I noticed after the base hit into center field, Chapman had both hands on his hips, kind of shaking his head like, how'd that ball not get caught? You know, he's shortened it up in center now, but you're right, it's a very shallow center field, but it wasn't when DJ was up.
3-0 on Cargo. Tulowitzki on deck. 1 out, top of 9. Rockies trying for a repeat performance against Chapman from yesterday afternoon. And they'll check on LeMahieu again. Ball 4. And now the go-ahead run moves to second on 4 pitches. Chapman loses Cargo. And here comes Tulowitzki. This is the 3rd straight day Chapman has appeared. He appeared in a loss on Sunday up in Cleveland, gave up a run. He obviously gave up a run yesterday against the Rockies, and here he is with traffic with 1 out. Troy faced him yesterday, struck out on a high fastball as a pinch hitter.
0 for 3 in his career. Axford warming up in case the Rockies take the lead to come on and try to save his 8th ball game.
Got a fastball in, he swung through it. One of the differences, at least so far this year, for Troy compared to last year. Last year he hit .369 against fastballs. This year he's at .282. Figures to change. Off the plate at 100, 1-1. Chapman wanted it, and you understand why.
Set up on the inside part of the plate for a fastball in on Tulo, and then it goes away, but it caught the corner.
Negron trying to keep LeMahieu close to the bag at second. Votto about as far off the first base bag as possible and still able to get back. This ball pulled down the line, and it's 1-2. So we went fastball, fastball, slider.
And went back after it, 102 miles an hour on the knees, down and away. What a great job by Tulo just to fight that pitch off. Keep this at bat and live on a 1-2 count.
Arenado's on deck.
He's 0 for 2 in his career versus Chapman. I don't think that's probably a very lonely fraternity. There's a lot of 0 for whatever against Chapman.
Last year, he set a major league record. He struck out almost 18 per 9 innings. There goes LeMahieu toward third. High drive, turning foul. Boy, he got the bat head out on that slider.
I like it. You know, Chapman likes to throw to first, not so much at second. They got a big jump. They were trying to jump all over it.
Now the Rockies' offensive execution the last few days has been terrific. One of the reasons they've won 3 straight. Got a great pitching performance in almost an emergency situation from Chris Russin tonight. 1-2 on Tulo, 1 out, 2 on in the 9th in a 1-1 affair. 27-year-old Aroldis Chapman. And they want another conference. Last year, according to Pitch FX, the hardest ball that he threw was to Paul Goldschmidt on July 28th at 104.53 miles an hour.
So can you just say 105?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
And he got him on a high fastball as he did yesterday.
Well, anxious to drive in the winning run of this ball game. I think Tulo probably took himself out of his normal at bat, normal of trying to react to this pitch. But again, it's 105, 101 miles an hour. That ball, and Tulo lights the ball up, but this time a little bit elevated and a little bit too much velocity for Troy to do anything with it.
So it'll come down to the encounter between Chapman and Nolan Arenado. Nolan 0 for 2 and a walk. Leading the club in home runs and RBIs. And he takes strike 1. It was a slider. LeMahieu at second. He singled. Cargo walked. He's at first. To the backstop, and everybody will move up. Well, that's huge because on a hit, it'll take any drama away from trying to get LeMahieu at the plate.
Well, how about any wild pitch again?
I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it could happen real easy, too. This is a slider that forgot to slide. It stayed way up in the strike zone.
1-2 on Nolan. Got him at 102. So the Rockies put 2 in scoring position. They had the right guys at the plate, but Chapman wins the battles tonight. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th, tied at 1.
Part 2 on Nolan Arenado coming up Friday after the post-game show. Take a look into the relationships that Nolan's built with his brother and his close teammate Troy Tulowitzki, plus his struggles, his ups and downs through the minor leagues as he makes his way to his big league dreams. Coming up again Friday after the post-game show, guys.
All right, Jenny, as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Brooks Brown will continue on. Marlon Byrd, Chris Negron, and then we'll see. We'll get a pinch hitter for Aroldis Chapman. Yeah, the Rockies had Chapman on the brink again. J.J. Hoover's in the Reds' pen. And that first pitch misses to Byrd. Got to be careful with this guy. He's always had a lot of pop. 25 home runs with Philadelphia last year. A home run in each of the last 2 ball games. The average isn't pretty. But Marlon Byrd, a dangerous guy, and he can go out from foul pole to foul pole. In fact, he hit one out to right yesterday.
The thing about him, he's a veteran guy and he understands the situation. And yesterday, what he took advantage of was on a ball up and away from him, and he knew it when it left the bat. It went out over the head of Brandon Barnes up into the stands.
Change speeds nicely. A 2-0 count. He's not afraid to throw the changeup. Two-one. And a good fastball, good location, good late movement. 2-2. They want fastball away. 2-2. Got him.
Oh, boy.
Come on now.
Well, I just wonder how these guys take pitches like that. It is off the plate, but it's not far off the plate. And it, you know, you're looking at a 4 strike zone. Now you're looking at it as it comes in from center field. Pretty close. Marlon worked it to the outside corner.
And a lot of times you'll get that call because he's squared up the catcher. Paulson's going to have a chance. He just needs longer arms.
Well, the tarp took away about an extra 3 or 4 feet. Maybe he could have reached in because you got to step around or over it.
Three and two on Marlon Byrd. Where's that? Ball four. Brown not happy. Guess he was a little bit hot.
Not happy with two things. It doesn't get called today. Walked the leadoff man in a tie ball game in the bottom of the ninth inning. You just open yourself up so many different things. Skip Schumacher has come out into the on-deck circle. He will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. Negron will go ahead and swing the bat.
Well, he's not going to swing it. You know what he's going to be doing.
I was looking to see if Brandon Phillips was down in the dugout. I thought I saw him earlier, and then I wasn't quite sure if he was down there. I didn't know if he had become ill and was taking the day off. A very good bunter. This is what utility guys do. They have the ability to do everything needed small to win a ball game.
So the Reds will send up their pinch hitter extraordinaire, Skip Schumacher, the veteran out of University of California, Santa Barbara, good friend of Ryan Spilborgh's. He's had a very productive career, and his last three at-bats off the bench have all produced doubles.
6 for 18 as a pinch hitter this year.
Winning run at second. Tulowitzki trying to keep him close. And the fastball outside. One and 0. Swung on. And a foul tip. Brown has really handled lefties. We've discussed this a couple of times of late. Lefties hitting under 200 against him. 182.
And that part of that's that heavy sinker he's able to run, and a good changeup he follows it up with.
Here's the 1-1 to Schumacher, and he's going to keep Byrd close. Wise move.
Now, Jim Riggleman, I always kind of like to watch and see if there's any conversation when he's walking by Marlon Byrd. Before he went up to the plate, it was more like, hey, get after it, because he gave a motion like I'm going to send with his hands.
To third, fair ball. This is a problem. And no throw. The Reds are going to win it on a hit from Skip Schumacher just inside the chalk down the third base line. They win it 2-1 in the ninth, and they end their 9-game winning streak or losing streak.
Now, once again, that leadoff walk, though, man, it comes around to kill you. It just sets up so many things bad to happen for you. Schumacher, another base hit, and what would have been another double, Drew.
Yep, his fourth straight hit off the bench. And I thought, we're so used to Nolan getting everything. I thought he was going to come up with another circus catch, but he just could not reach it. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Skip Schumacher in the ninth inning to win it for the Reds. And it snaps their 9-game losing streak. Yeah, looking at a second time, you can see that Nolan really wasn't close to that. Once he got by, Byrd was going to score easily. So 5th career walk-off hit for Skip Schumacher. And the Rockies don't take advantage of the great performance by Chris Russin, who in 7 innings allowed a run on 4 hits. And again, the Rockies' 3-game winning streak is gone. They'll try to take the series tomorrow afternoon. Time to take you to Denver and our Toyota postgame show. Here's Mark Stout.